All right, so last week we had one of the dynamic duo of the UCF linebacker core on and Walter Gates. This week, we're excited about our next guest, 2-year starter for UCF, led the team in tackles in both seasons. And Mike, I think this may be one of our toughest interviews ever because we've seen Jason at the podium. He's a little quiet, so we get to break him out of his shell a little bit tonight. And happy to have Jason Johnson joining us on the podcast tonight. First off, Jason, man, hope you had a great holiday, man. Congrats on the Hula Bowl MVP. And thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you. No problem.
All right, so let me start with this. Let me find out a little bit. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna toss in some funny questions throughout the interview. All right, so be prepared for serious and funny questions. But I want to start off with a serious one for you. Obviously, you were doing well at Eastern Illinois, All-American at Eastern Illinois, and you decided to enter your name in the transfer portal. What led you to decide to look at other options and think about going to a new school?
It was really when we came back for the winter workouts. I was about to stay, but then like as soon as we got there, my head coach he told us he was leaving. Like we got on a Zoom call, he said he was leaving. And everybody was mad. Everybody left the chat like instantly. But after that, I was just like, I thought I could play at a higher level, so I just entered the portal and see what I could do.
When you entered the portal, did you even know about UCF? Had you even heard of UCF?
No, I didn't know what UCF was at all.
How did you find out about you? Who reached out to you? How did that first contact happen?
It was really on Twitter. I seen T. Will. He had followed me. And I was like, "Who is this?" And then like 5 minutes later, he DM'd me on Instagram. And he reached out to me, and that's when I really found out about UCF.
What's that recruiting pitch like? Hit me. I'll obviously never have a coach in my DMs recruiting me. What's that DM like? Is he like, hey, we like your film, or hey, you want to talk? Like, what's that DM look like when a coach hits you up like that?
I think he said something like, he like, "What up, big dog?" He like, "You found a home yet?" I was like, "Nah." And he was like, he basically said they need me. He said it was a big need for linebackers right there. Well, here, so.
Was there anything? Did you visit the campus? Was there anything else about the school other than the football program that made you say, "This is the place I want to go"?
Yeah, I got the offer in January, and I went on an official visit in March. Then when I came here, it was like a whole different world. It was crazy. It was way different than what I'm used to. So I love the coaches and the whole environment, like the city. It was just crazy for me. So that really made me commit like soon as I got here.
When you guys go on these recruiting trips, how much is it like, okay, this is what we're doing in football, but also these are what the girls look like. This is where the parties are happening, all kinds of stuff like that. Did they throw that in there?
I mean, they tried to, but like I don't do all that. I got a girlfriend. I don't go out or nothing. I really be chilling in my room. But yeah, they tried to.
All right. So when you get to campus and you actually get to start practicing with the team, what's the biggest differences you're noticing moving up to UCF as compared to where you were in Eastern Illinois?
I feel like it wasn't really that big of a difference. It was just like people were just a lot bigger. So it was just I just had to adjust to the size of everybody, but it wasn't that much of a difference. It was cool.
Did you personally have to put on a few pounds when you got here? Did you change the weight training or anything like that?
When I got here, I was like 215. Going into fall camp, I was like 225. So I added on like 10 pounds, but then I dropped back down to like 215 during the season. So.
All right, Justin, you mentioned you had a girlfriend. How long have you guys been together?
It's been about 3 years.
All right. Well, hold on. Valentine's Day is a month away. What does Jason Johnson do for Valentine's Day? Are you romantic? Are you cards, flowers? Give me the Jason Johnson Valentine's Day menu here.
I'll send some flowers, a card, whatever she want. I'll send it to her. I'm kind of romantic. I ain't crazy with it.
Like, so she was like, "Hey, write me a love poem." Are you writing a love poem?
Nah, I'm not.
No.
Nah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, 3 years is a long time. Is there any talk about next steps? I don't want to get in your business here, but 3 years is a long time. You're about to embark on a professional career. Any thoughts on next steps there?
Yeah, hopefully we get married in the future. I don't know when, but sometime in the future.
Which means she's ready to get married and you're not. Is that kind of how that goes?
No, it just we both, we both getting ready.
All right. So Mike Ash, obviously coming to UCF from Houston, Illinois. We talk about the speed of the game and sort of the size of the players you're against. What about the scheme? How long did it take you to kind of adjust to the system that UCF was running versus what you ran at Eastern Illinois?
With me, I learned quick. So I really learned it quick. Like, as soon as I really got in the first meeting room, he told me like what I'm gonna do with it and this and this. Then I just learned it. Then on the field, it went well. So it wasn't really that hard for me.
Tell us a little bit about Coach Travis Williams T-Will, right? Obviously, only with you for one season, moved on to Arkansas. What kind of coach was he? He seemed like he was high energy, but he seemed like he was definitely intense. What kind of coach was Travis Williams?
Oh yeah, he was. I always feel he was like real cool, but like when you get into practice and the game, he get serious. Like, he don't like nothing soft. Like, if you see you doing something soft, he gonna make you do like some type of hidden drill or something. And if you're losing, you're gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. So he was real intense, but he was a good coach.
Did that piss a lot of players off? Was it something that people were like, man, like, get off my back? Or do you think people responded well to that kind of style of leadership?
It was like a balance. Some people got mad and got in their feelings, but I feel like some people handled it well and then responded the right way.
Is that something that kind of, I guess you're used to it growing up playing football your whole life, but when they're recruiting you, the coaches are always trying to be your friend or your boys. Hey, they're talking you up, and then you get into practice and all of a sudden things change. They start coaching you. Is it a little weird, like seeing them one way and then seeing them a different way?
No, I really expect that. Like, I already know it's all on a visit, it's all an act, and it's gonna be totally different once you're on the field and they actually got to coach you because they got a job to do. So I already know what's gonna happen.
Were there any other schools you were talking or thinking about going to when you were talking about transferring?
It was a lot of FCS schools that wanted me, and it was just a few FBS schools, but I didn't want to go there. So it was like New Mexico State, Charlotte, some other schools, but UCF was definitely the best one.
All right, and last year when you were on campus, the first real big game of the season was the Louisville game. What was the atmosphere like? Is that something you had experienced? Were you ready for something like that? I know the game didn't turn out the way we wanted, but leading up to that game, there was a lot of hype going into that one.
I was just ready to show what I could do at this level because the first game of the season we played with the SC State.
Yep.
I played like 20 snaps. I couldn't really play that much, so I was ready to show what I could do against Louisville. So I think I had a good game that game too.
Yeah, we lose that one tough. I mean, there's a holding call that gets a touchdown called back. I think we had 2 touchdowns called back actually in that game. What's the locker room like after a tough loss like that one?
It's just everybody just mad because we feel like we got cheated, and we know we should have won that game, and it was a lot of other games we should have won. And I feel like with Johnny, he always getting his touchdowns called back. I don't know why. It's like every time he scores, it's a holding or something. I don't know.
Yep. Was it Bowman this year there was another running back? Every time he seemed to break out a nice run, it got called back too. I know Johnny had that problem.
Yeah, I think it was Johnny. I don't know. I think it was Johnny. Yeah.
Bowman only got like 4 carries. I think Johnny and Xavier Townsend both seemed to have. Xavier had like 2 punt returns or kick returns called back on holds. It seemed like those two are always kind of get the bad end of the stick there. All right, Jason, who was one of your teammates that you would not want to arm wrestle? Who do you think's stronger than you that if you had to arm wrestle, this dude would just whoop you?
Ricky. I think Ricky probably the strongest on the team. He different.
What kind of stuff that can he do? Like, have you seen him do some like freak show stuff in the weight room?
It's just when he's squatting, he was doing like 600 plus pounds just easy. Like, he'd be rapping it out. I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but it'd be crazy to see.
I feel like I would tear my ACL just thinking about that. Obviously, the season goes on pretty well, right? We, to Mike's point, we had a tough loss at Louisville. You had your best game at that point, 12 tackles. And then we go to ECU. All right, so you had your best game at ECU, 15 total tackles in that game overall. We talked to Walt last week. He told us, obviously, this year you guys had Jair Wilson on the team, who was on ECU at that point in time. And, Jason, there were a lot of rumors post-game that maybe, just maybe, ECU may have had some of our play calls. They may have known what was going on offense. You were obviously there. Mike and I were not. You were on the field. You heard the chatter. Do you think there's any truth to the fact that maybe, just maybe, ECU knew what y'all were going to run that night?
I definitely think so. I talked to Jairo about it. He say no. I talked to Coach Mosley. He was like one of the GAs. He say no, but I think so. Every time like we made a check, they checked it so quick. They knew I feel like they knew all the signals and everything. It was crazy to me.
Does that like piss you off, or is that fair game? Like, if another team finds a way to get an advantage, is that just fair game, or does that piss you off as a competitor that it wasn't like an even playing field?
I mean, people gonna do what they got to do to win, so I can't really get mad at it. They wanted to win, so it is what it is. It's football.
Was there any clue leading up to that game that could be a possibility? Like maybe they know something? Or it was just after the game.
I think it was before the game. They was saying one of our GAs left and gave them the signals. It was, I don't know, it was some crazy like that. But.
So was there any talk during the game? Hey, like early on, they're picking up on everything. Was there any changes made during that game, or were we just kind of like, hey, let's just stick to the game plan?
We tried to run some different defenses, but it wasn't working. He was just what's his name? Holden Ahlers, I think.
Yeah,
he was just
he's 30. He's 32 years old, by the way. Yes.
Are you for real?
No, I'm just kidding. He was at ECU like 9 years though.
Oh yeah, but he was looking nice.
How much is that? Okay, yeah, maybe it helped them early, but football is just a game of momentum. And once they started getting things rolling and they got the confidence a little bit, there was nothing we could really do about it.
What's the question?
So like obviously we think that they had the signs, but how much of that is they just that's the way football goes sometimes. Once they get rolling and they're hot early, then that there was nothing we could do really to stop them, whether they had the signs or not.
You just got to find a way to win the game, find a way to put their fire out. So can't really make no excuses. You got to do what you got to do. Like no matter what happens, you got to try to win.
All right. So, okay, the other game that drove me nuts last year, which we didn't have any excuses for, was the Navy game. Now, the one thing people were pointing to was like, it's an 11 o'clock start. It's an early morning. That had nothing to do with it, right? What was the whole issue with that whole game?
I mean, if you letting the time affect how you play, this isn't out for you. But I don't think that's the case. But I don't know. They started off good. But I feel like in the second half we shut them down. Like they only had 17 points, so they had no passing yards, and we lost. That was crazy. I don't know.
How annoying is it? Like, okay, you're stopping them every time, third down, but it's 4th and 2, and you know they're going for it, and then they end up getting it. That's just got to be a backbreaker. Every single time they do that, no?
Yeah, it is. So you really just got to get them in the like 3rd and long because they can't pass. So you got to get them in like long distance to make them pass. So if they 4th or short, they probably gonna get it. So it's tough.
All right, Jason, what's your hidden talent? Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you draw? Do magic tricks? What's your hidden talent?
I don't think I got a hidden talent. Not that I know of.
Would you rather be on Dancing with the Stars or American Idol?
American Idol when they sing, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I'd rather try to dance. I can. Nah.
You're more of a dancer than a singer. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll take that. Obviously, Mike's asked a couple questions about some bad games. We had a good game in that stretch here. Cincinnati, obviously a team that I know UCF had played a ton before you got here. A lot of noise about them. There'd been kind of a budding rivalry. That was a really tough win for UCF. Obviously, we sneaked them on at the end. Take us back to that game. How important was that victory for you all? And even as somebody kind of new who hadn't been a part of some of the previous years, did you kind of understand and recognize how big of a rivalry that UCF Cincinnati had become?
Well, me, I already had something against them because some recruiting stuff out of high school. But yeah, I knew it was like a big game, and I knew we had to shut them down. They put up 50 the year before.
Yeah,
so I knew we had to come in and shut them down, especially homecoming in our house.
Hold on, what was the recruiting stuff out of high school? What give me the story there. What did they do to you out of high school?
Basically they was saying they found out about me too late, But they was like, and they said they already had their class signed, but they was like, if a spot open up for you, we gonna offer you. But then came January, like a spot open up, but then they texted, they was like, yeah, we just gonna go with a JUCO linebacker transfer. I'm like, so y'all basically lied to me.
Wow. Was this so when you were, are you dealing with assistant coaches? This isn't Coach Fickle, correct?
No, it wasn't him.
All right.
It was
So
I didn't even say what it is.
Yeah, drop the name. Yeah, might as well drop the name now.
It was Freeman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, he's done pretty well for himself too. And obviously, so we go on. We beat Cincinnati. Mike mentions we have a tough game against Navy that year. There was a lot riding in that game too, right? Because obviously we had an opportunity to potentially, host conference championships, New Year's Six game. That you lose that game, then you go back the next week. We play our rivals at the Bulls, the Cows across in Tampa, right? Jason, what the hell happened in that game? We were blowing these dudes out by halftime, and all of a sudden, like, you turn around and it's like a 3-6. They're taking the lead at some point. What the hell happened in that second half against the Cows?
With that game, I feel like we took the starters out too early. We took the starters out. They got a few turnovers, then they got some momentum. And once they get momentum, it's like hard to stop when they got confidence and all that. And they just kept scoring and moving the ball. It was crazy.
Who I know the Hollers have been there for like 15 years apiece, right? But who on the team sort of explains to the new guys kind of the rivalry with USF? Like, obviously, again, you're coming to new. What was it? Was it Alex and Mac? Like, who Max rather? Who kind of tells you, hey, like this team we need to beat. This is the team that's annoying. This is the team that we need to go down and make sure we beat them up.
I wouldn't say nobody on the team told me like we gotta beat them. I was looking on Twitter, and I just seen the fans just going crazy, like. Our fans, they were just going back and forth. I was like, yeah. So I know this is a big game. We definitely got to beat them.
You saw their fans? It has to be burner accounts. They don't have any fans.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
those are burners.
Well, that's one thing Walt actually told us about you last week. He said you keep receipts on everything you see on Twitter. So,
yeah, I do.
So, okay, I know you have a list of people probably that you are not fans of, and maybe they're not fans of you or fans of us. Go ahead, name them. Top 5 UCF fans that you have a problem with.
I gotta go back and look, but I don't know their account names like off the top of my head. But I know there's certain ones that like no matter what I do, I just suck or we suck, linebackers suck, whatever. But
name one.
It's a few of them. What's the name? CFB Knights.
CFB Knights, yes. Yeah. He may be the worst follow on Twitter. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so you and CFB Knights, you get him in the room for 10 minutes. He's not walking out of there.
No, I'm gonna test his brain because people act like they know football and what we supposed to be doing. I'm gonna see what they know.
All right. Okay. So here's another question about last year or the year before, and it was a big debate among the fans. And you could understand why, because Plumlee played a lot better this year, but last year he had his moments where you weren't so sure. And Mikey Keene, anytime he came into the game, like the Cincinnati game, he played well. The Memphis game, he started and played that whole game, and he played well. Was there ever any whispering among the team, like maybe this guy should be playing, maybe this guy should be the quarterback? I know among fans it was a hot topic, but inside the locker room, do you guys even discuss that among each other, or is just whatever the coaches decide to go with, that's what we're riding with?
No, it's definitely gonna be like sides to everything. Like nobody is gonna everybody ain't just gonna do what the coach want or think how the coach want to think. Like it was 2 sides to like who wanted JRP, who wanted Mikey, but it was definitely some of that.
So which side were you on?
I mean, I like both of them. I feel like Mikey was a great passer, and JRP was just a playmaker. They were both just great players. So I feel like we was good with either one. I didn't really know.
As a defender, which one of them would you least like to play against?
Definitely. I don't know. I couldn't even say because John Rice, when he healthy, you definitely got to worry about his legs because if you don't, you're gonna probably rush for like 200. But Mikey, he'll like just pick your defense apart. So it'd really be tough playing against both.
Well, that 2022 season, Jason, obviously we go to Tulane, big victory at Tulane, 38-31. We're riding high, we're feeling good, right? And then, we end up by fate of consequence going back there for the championship game and lose that one 45-28. What was the difference between those two games? Obviously, we know John Rice was hurt, and I know that was a big factor offensively, but what changed from the 38-31 win to the 45-28 loss?
One, we should have been at home, but we lost the Navy, and we had to go back there. But two, it was really just. I feel like we were just. It was just they had a good like counter to the calls we were running. I feel like they knew because they learned from the game before, and we kind of ran like kind of the same stuff in the championship game, and they just had a counter for it every time we called it. So I feel like that was a big factor, and they had a really good running back, and yeah.
Yeah, he's in the league now. He's a good player, obviously, and so then we get a chance to go to play Duke in the Military Bowl. Right now, you can level with us, Jason. Just three dudes talking here, right? At some point after a long season like that, is it tough to get up for a bowl game like that? Like, is it tough to be excited about it? I mean, it looked like, again, a bunch of guys opt out. Some guys can't play. After a while, is it tough to like get excited for kind of a bowl game like that at the end of the year, Duke, we don't have any rivalry with, and the middle of Virginia after Christmas, it's freezing. Was it tough to sort of get guys motivated for that game?
It really depends on like who you are. Like for me, I just love football. Like it's another chance to play. So it wasn't really hard for me to get up. I know certain guys, they feel like the season over, stuff like that, and they just go through the motions. Basically, yeah.
You're not a vocal guy, right? But if you see a teammate who you can just tell, like, hey man, this guy's not bought in right now, going through the motions, maybe thinking about next year. What do you do in that situation as a leader of the team? Do you say something? Do you try to lead by example? How would you handle a teammate that you feel like maybe isn't as bought in as you are?
I really just show people what like how to do things. Like I do everything the right way. So I just like they people see me and see what I do. I feel like they should just follow along. But I don't really say much. But sometimes I got to. So yeah.
All right, you're going to the movies. I give you $25 to buy snacks. What are you buying? What's your go-to snack at the movies?
Definitely get some a slushie.
Okay, wow.
Large, probably extra large. Probably some Snickers.
Okay.
Starburst. If I ain't had the money yet, probably some Skittles too. Yeah.
So you're a candy guy. You're more of a sweets guy than like a popcorn, like chips guy. You're more of a sweets and a salty guy.
Yeah, I don't really like popcorn like that. It's cool, but I don't like it that much.
What flavor slushie are we getting?
I mix them all together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an inspired choice. My 11-year-old does it all the time. He'll go to 7-Eleven and like just hit all those handles, Jason. I'm like, dude, that's not going to taste good. And he loves that stuff. I don't know how he doesn't.
Yeah, it'd be tasting good.
What's the last movie you went to see in the theater?
The last movie, I ain't been to the movies in a minute.
Did you see Barbie?
Nah, I don't watch that.
Oppenheimer?
What was that about?
Oppenheimer was the atomic bomb, right?
No, I ain't see
I haven't
that.
seen
It was like 3.5 hours long. You probably fell asleep through it if you saw it.
No, I ain't see that.
Well, okay, so let's just say this. What's your favorite type of movie? Is it a comedy? Is it a horror? Is it drama? Action?
I'll say probably action movies and horror movies. Them like my two favorites.
All right. Any particular horror movie that's your favorite? Like you have a series like the Scream. You're probably too young for the Scream movies.
No,
even though they came out with a new one, right? They came out with a new one this year.
Yeah, I watched all of them. I like.
Yeah, you like all the Screams?
Yeah, I watched all of them. Yeah.
But those came out before you were born, no? They were out when I was in high school, I think. Like, what was the first one, Adam? Like 98, 99?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I was still watching them like as I was growing up. Like,
yeah.
I respect that, yeah.
But I'll say my favorite like series probably be The Conjuring with the horror movies.
All right. Back to the football for a second. So after the season, Coach T. Will takes off. He goes to Arkansas. Addison Williams comes in. What's the big adjustment you have to make, if any? Does he keep the same system? Is he running things a little bit differently? And how were your feelings about hearing that T. Will was leaving? He was the guy that kind of brought you in.
The day he left, it was kind of crazy because we was like, we had practice. Then right after practice, we all went into the defensive meeting room. Then he just started breaking down and saying he was leaving and stuff. Yeah, but it was like it was weird. I was like, how we just had practice. You was coaching us, then you just left right after that. But ain't no hard feelings and stuff. But he's still a cool person. But yeah, it was kind of weird just seeing that go take on.
It's funny how that happens. Like I just heard the other day that Nick Saban was interviewing guys for like assistant jobs, and then he retired later that afternoon. Isn't that's a little crazy the way these college football coaches like handle themselves?
Yeah, that's all. That it just be weird. But then people will get mad at like players when they do something that's best for them. But the coaches do whatever. So
yeah, so that's kind of evened out now with the transfer portal and NIL and stuff. I mean, I'm sure you're a fan of the whole portal and everything. Is there anything about that system that you don't like? Anything you would kind of change if it was up to you?
I really like it. Like the players getting the power now. So that I feel like that's how it should be. And players starting to get paid more and stuff like that. I feel like it should have been like that. I feel like we haven't had enough power throughout this whole time. So I feel like it's good.
Well, Jason, let's back up for a quick second too. After the end of that your first season at UCF, you had a choice. You could have gone to the league at that point, right? You could have gone pro. You decided to return back to UCF. What kind of was that a thought for you at all, or what kind of went into the decision for you to decide you want to come back to Orlando?
It took me a minute to decide like if I was going to stay or leave. It was just like I ain't really had no agent then, so I really didn't know my true grade. But I was just talking to the coaches, and I had a low grade, a low draft grade, and so I just decided to come back. They said I was going to improve it a lot in the Big 12, so I just decided to try another year.
As you set out for the season, what were your goals? What did you want to accomplish for yourself personally? No, as a team, I'm sure you went to the championship and all that stuff, right? But for you personally, what were your goals that you want to accomplish as you set out beginning of the season?
I really wanted to have like the same numbers, but I just wanted like some more TFLs. I wanted to pick some picks, PBUs. I wanted to like improve on my block destruction and coverage. I feel like I did both of them. Those were my main goals, and I wanted to go undefeated this year, but we didn't.
Spoiler alert! No, that didn't work out. Jason, what's one of your teammates who is the worst driver? Who's the guy that you would not want to get in a car with and drive with?
Worst driver? Who be speeding? I know Katie McDaniel. He definitely be speeding. I don't like how he drive.
Okay.
Drop. I hate how he drive.
What does Drop do? Is he a speeder? Is he just not paying attention? Is on his phone? What's his deal?
He be swerving. I don't know. His Drop. I don't know what Drop be doing. He be doing Drop stuff.
He seems like a lot of fun. What's he like as a teammate? Obviously, we get to see him in interviews from time to time. It seems like a lot of fun. And what's it like to have Drop as a teammate?
He a real cool person. He real funny. He probably the funniest on the team. And but he know when to lock in and get serious. But most of the time, he playing around and stuff like that. But he a good person.
All right, this season starts off obviously kind of an easy win at Kent State. Then we go to Boise, and you play on the famed blue turf. Jason, what did you think of the blue turf? Were you a fan of it? Was it annoying? Did it give you a headache? What was it like playing on that blue?
I was waiting so long to play on that turf since I was younger, playing NCAA. So, but when I got there, it was still nice, but it wasn't as good as I expected it to be. But it was still nice.
We talked to Walt last week. A lot of controversy going into the game about Boise was wearing their blue jerseys and the blue turf. Was that a factor at all? Was it like, oh my goodness, I can't see these guys, or was that just blown out of proportion?
For the most part, it really wasn't nothing. But I know it was one play. It was like a play action, and I was trying to look for a crosser, but I couldn't see him. But he was right there, and they threw the ball to him. But it was I could have picked it if I could have seen him, but he dropped it. But it was one play. It was crazy.
All right. I got two daughters, and they're both huge Taylor Swift fans. Now, Taylor Swift's all over the Chiefs games all the time. How familiar are you with her? How many Taylor Swift songs can you name? Are you a closet Swiftie, or you don't listen to it at all?
I I know I could sing a few songs, but I don't know them by name. I definitely could sing a few though.
Give us a couple bars right now, or no?
Yeah, what do you got?
Nah,
Yeah.
I had to play it. Then I could probably sing along. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And your girl, she's a Swift fan or no?
Nah.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. So after the Boise game, we have the Villanova. Timmy McLean's in there at quarterback, and the first Big 12 home game. We have to bring this one up. The Baylor game, and the place is going crazy. We're blowing them out early. It's party time, and somehow, I don't know what the heck happened, but we blow, what is it, a 25-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Does that game still, like, do you wake up in the middle of the night still like sweating, saying, it can't be true? How did that happen?
I did for a minute because it was just like during the game, it felt like it was USF all over again. I'm like, there's no way we letting them come back right now. But then they just had the momentum. And they kept getting the ball back, and it was tough.
Is there any particular play in that game where you say, man, if I could have just done this, maybe it stops the comeback, maybe it changes things a little bit?
It's definitely a play that I wish I could have got back. I was basically like a Carol Flat player, and they teach us to like zone point, so you can play like everything top down. So you really got the flat, but if it's like an over route coming across, you can pick it off. But I kind of got fooled by the play action because the running back ran to the flat, and I was focused on the running back. Then they ran a little drag across the field, then they completed it. But like it was like 20 yards or something like that. I feel like if I get that play again, I would have picked that off.
And you think about that one every day, I'm sure. No?
Yeah, it's a few plays I knew I could have had a pick. I just didn't get it done.
And that was the start. Well, the second game of a 5-game losing streak, and a couple of those games we could have pulled off. I mean, the Oklahoma game, we were right in it. We could have won that one. A play here, a play there. Even the Kansas State game on the road, we were hanging in there for most of that game. The Kansas game was ugly. Is there another game in that stretch where you look back and say, man, that was one that should have never got away, or that was one, if we had won that, maybe it would be a different season?
I really say that for all of them. Like, I feel like we could have won every game we was in. Every game we played, we could have won.
Well, not the Kansas game. Like, I don't know what happened in that Kansas game. I mean, that was just ugly from beginning to end. Is that just one of those things where it just snowballs and then there's no coming back from it?
We could have beat Kansas. It was just, I ain't gonna blame nobody, but it was just like the run fits just wasn't there. Like, cause they kept running counter, and we have one linebacker fitting the counter. Like, if I spill it, they bounce outside and hit for a long run. If I box it back in, it hit up the middle. They would just really couldn't do nothing about it. I was trying, but I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, Jason, we heard that all season long from people that we talked to, people, coaches. They kept talking about UCF's run fits and the run fits, got to get a run fits. But it seemed like that was a continual issue game after game, at least from what coaches and players were saying. What was it why was it hard to, or why did that never really kind of get corrected overall? What kind of got in the way of kind of getting the run fits figured out to a way that you could stop the run consistently?
I feel like we just changed them. We changed our fits and keys so much. Like, we changed them every week. It was just like, if we changed for one call, we change for every call. Like, we just gotta change our alignments and everything. We were just changing it week by week, but especially for the linebackers. We just kept changing. So it was tough.
UCF runs primarily a 4-2-5 defense, essentially, right? I mean, you and Walt were the two main linebackers. Was there a point in time where would a third linebacker have been supportive in that? If it was kind of your traditional sort of 4-3-4, would that have supported the run differently, or if you sort of changed up the schematics of the defense?
I think so. I think it would have helped a little bit, but I just feel like we just need like consistency with like the keys and fits and stuff like that. So we could like just get used to like fitting this and fitting that. So it was just. We just had consistency. It would have been good.
Well, you're a leader on the team. Can you go? I mean, was this coaching staff open? Can you go to the coaches and maybe Coach Sims or Coach Addison and say, hey, like, we should try this, we should try that? Were they open to kind of hearing from you all as players and you as a leader, like, hey, I think we should think about changing this up?
Oh, yeah, they were definitely open to it. We talked to them a few times. We changed it during the bye week, I guess, and we had Oklahoma the next week. I feel like we had a way better job. But then, after that, it kept changing. So, but I don't know why I ain't the coach. I don't know. It just kept changing. Yeah.
All right, so I know your hometown of Chicago. I was born in Oak Park, so I know a little bit of Chicago. What do you prefer better, Chicago hot dog or Chicago beef sandwich? What's your favorite?
You mean like the Italian beef?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Italian beef. Yeah.
over Chicago hot dog.
Italian beef is way better.
You get the peppers on the beef too. You get it the way it's supposed to be.
Sweet peppers, hot peppers, the
Okay.
mozzarella
Okay.
cheese, and you
All
gotta
right.
get it dipped.
Just making sure. I know a lot of people don't like the
Yeah.
peppers. They take the peppers off, but the peppers are the sandwich. Jason,
You
the
gotta
sandwich
keep
isn't
them
the
on.
sandwich. Are the peppers?
Yeah.
No
We
hot
got
dog though, huh? That's interesting.
The NFL playoffs are going on right now. Do you have a NFL team that you've always rooted for?
People don't like me because I like the Packers, but it is what
Hey.
it is.
I don't like it.
Yeah, a good day yesterday. Adam is a big Cowboy fan, by the way. So
Yeah.
Are you a Cowboy fan?
I'm a Cowboys fan. Our relationship just went downhill, Jason. But look, I can't complain. This is what the Cowboys do to me every year since I was a kid. This is what they do to me. They act like they're good since 1995. We haven't been good. They go in too cocky. Dak wasn't aggressive. Mike McCarthy, thanks for coming out, buddy. Hopefully we get a new coach next week. I mean, they weren't ready from opening jump, man. And the Packers were just aggressive. They were confident, and Cowboys had no answers all night. It was sickening.
Yeah, it was crazy to see. I was saying we were gonna do that, but nobody believed me. But it happened.
wait, you expected that? I mean, that was out of hand the way that game got. I thought maybe the Packers could hang in. I think they could have won, but the way that game went down, you couldn't have expected that one.
That's what I was expecting. That's what I expect next week too with the 49ers. I expect the same thing.
Ooh, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take the Packers to win that. Yeah, I don't like the Niners either, so I'll take that one.
Yeah.
A little part of you, I mean, maybe you're still too young too, but I guess you have a team in it, and anybody else that doesn't have a team in it has to be rooting for the Lions. No, I mean that's the team that hasn't won, never been
I don't
there.
think Jason's rooting for the Lions. I don't think he's rooting for the Lions.
No, I don't like the Lions. No.
yeah, that's not how that works.
That's what I'm saying. He's too young to know how long they suffered. They haven't been in the Super Bowl. Well, they've never been to the Super Bowl. They haven't won a playoff game probably in your lifetime until yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Coach Sims used to play for them, and he was saying they was like 1-15 every year. I know they was bad. So yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been bad forever. But it's good to see them back on track. Any rooting interest? I guess tonight's game is Tampa and Philadelphia. Do you care who wins this one?
I really don't, but just because Water Eagles fan, I want the Bucks to win. So
I'll take it.
Yeah.
We all hate the Eagles around here, so that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm a Giants.
They're losing right now, 13-3. By the way.
Yeah, that's great.
Who up right now?
Tampa Bay, 13-3 right now.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Oh, almost another big pass there. Okay, so this past season, after we get past the losing streak, you guys never really gave up on the season. That's something I really liked about it, the team. It could have been easy for everybody to just throw in the towel, but you guys rallied together. You come back, you go to Cincinnati, you pull that one off, and then you come home for the Oklahoma State game, which was the best game I've seen this team play probably in the last 4 or 5 years. It was a complete domination. Take us back to that day. How cool was it? How fun was it? And how much was it? Kind of like, man, we could have been doing this the whole season. A little bit of a regret at the same time.
Yeah. So it's basically like it's really like the start of the week. Since the start of the week, everybody was talking about they running back and what he was going to do to us. And we ain't like that at all. So we just had it was like some extra aggression. I don't know what it was. It was just extra aggression, and we weren't gonna let that happen. So,
how much did the weather actually kind of help? Because it didn't really start pouring until we were up. I think we were up like 17 at that point, and then the weather, I think, actually helped us out because they had to pass at that point, and they were having trouble holding on to the ball, and a couple tip passes, a couple interceptions, things really went our way.
I ain't gonna say the weather helped because we were shutting them down from the beginning, and they had to pass because they couldn't run the ball. Like even if it went rain, they weren't gonna be able to run the ball. They had to pass it, and we was creating a whole bunch of turnovers. So it wasn't really the weather; it was us.
Do you guys do any trash talking? Ollie Gordon, like you said, I think he was leading the country in rushing that day. You're shutting them down in the first half. You don't seem like a trash talker. You don't talk much.
Now, when somebody, I am. When somebody, I'm not at the beginning, but like if somebody's saying something to me, then they get me riled up, and I'm gonna talk back. So
yeah.
What's
your go-to line? You have someone, or it's just kind of like it comes in the heat of the moment?
It's I can't really use that language on here, but
yeah, you can.
And I'd be talking crazy. It'd be crazy.
Who else on the defense is just a yapper? That doesn't shut up, or nonstop, kind of just talking to the other team?
I'll say definitely Lee Hunter.
That's about right.
Definitely Lee.
When he's not splash diving on top of people.
Yeah, Lee funny. He funny.
Jason, how much did you guys want to shut down Ollie Gordon for RJ Harvey, who at that point everyone said Ollie Gordon, the best running back in the Big 12, and he was all world and he was going to run for 200 yards. How much did you guys want to do that, knowing that you had what probably is one of the best running backs in the Big 12 and RJ Harvey wearing your exact same jersey?
We definitely want to shut him down. Like people were saying he gonna rush for 400 yards, he gonna break the record, single game rushing record. Man, I feel like RJ was better than him, and he had 0. I ain't like how he had 0 on, so definitely wanted to shut him down.
Oh, you didn't like? So you were 0 now. I know that you got asked in a press conference why you switched to 0. You said Damian Lillard, and someone asked you why, and you said, "I don't know, I like him." Do you? Why didn't you like that he had number 0? Do you think that's you got to earn that number? What made you mad about that?
I ain't like it. I just felt like I'm supposed to be I'm the 0 on the field, and he, so yeah.
Okay. Are you good with Johnny Richardson? He wore 0 too, yes?
Oh yeah, nah, Johnny cool. He cool.
So his 0 is cool, but Ollie's 0 was no good.
Nah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And he was talking too much.
He did. Yeah, he got into the fans too. He went to the sidelines at one point, was yelling at the crowd too. He looked like he definitely had some emotion. You mentioned Ernie Sims earlier. He looks like a pretty scary dude. Like I don't think I'd want to run up on Ernie Sims anywhere. We didn't hear much from him this year. What kind of coach was he? Obviously, first year coaching you. He comes with an NFL pedigree. First round draft pick. A lot of accolades. What was he like as your position coach?
He was kind of like a drill sergeant. Like he ain't play around, but he was a real cool dude, and he was a real good coach. Like he'll coach you well. He'll be very like demanding and be detailed, like what you got to do, no matter what it is, like special teams, just defense, anything. He'll definitely get you right and make sure you're getting better.
What kind of coaching style do you prefer? Do you prefer something like that, like a drill sergeant, or somebody a little bit more laid back, who maybe is a little bit more lenient? What do you prefer? Or how do you prefer to be coached?
I mean, I feel like something like in the middle, like not too overboard, but like don't just let anything slide. Something like coach you hard, but he ain't gonna go overboard with it. Like something just in the middle.
Okay, the way the season ended, going to the bowl game against Georgia Tech, obviously a disappointing result there at the end. How would you grade the entire season this year? I mean, we finished 6-7. We had the 5-game losing streak, but like I said, you guys didn't quit. Grade the team if you had to give them A through F. What's the grade on the season?
I'll say a C. Like we was like right in the middle. Like we finished 6-6, right in the middle. We could have been a lot better, but it was just like certain points in certain games, we just got a flag or something just went wrong and we lost them games, so we could have won them. But we were definitely like in the middle, like a C.
How big of a difference was the step up to the Big 12? Everybody makes a big deal about, hey, it's a big difference in competition from the American last year. I mean, the American has some decent teams, but Tulane was good. Memphis is nothing to sneeze at. A couple tough teams. Was it that much harder in the Big 12? What's the big difference?
I feel like it was a lot more physical than what people were saying. Like they were saying it was a passing league, 7-on-7 league, but our first game in the Big 12, we getting straight 12 personnel. Like Kansas State, straight, they running it all the time. So it was real physical, but it wasn't nothing we couldn't handle. It wasn't really that much harder, but it was definitely like a higher level of competition. Yeah, you could notice it, but it wasn't that much harder.
What do you think about the team moving forward next year? Obviously, there's already been a lot of changes on the roster. We're bringing in a new quarterback. First of all, if Timmy McClain was going to be the quarterback, I would have been fine with it next year. How did you feel about Timmy's performance this year in the games he played?
I feel like Timmy did well. Like he took advantage of his opportunity. So he had a good what was it 4 games, 3 games, however many he played. But
Yeah.
he did a pretty good job. He weren't really bad. He pretty good.
Yeah, I actually looking at the numbers, he did a very good job. Some of those games that we lost were not his fault, but they're bringing in a kid now from Arkansas, KJ Jefferson. Seems like they're kind of just handing him the job. What do you feel about that? Has there been any talk among the guys just now, like, hey, we brought in this stud quarterback, but it's not really a fair QB competition? Anything like that?
I haven't been around the locker room, so I don't know what they're saying right now, but I don't think it's gonna get handed to him. He's definitely gonna have to work for it and beat out the other guys. So it's gonna be a tough competition in the spring.
Just if Timmy McClain called you right now and said, "Hey, what should I do?" What advice would you give him? A guy who's now got a battle, somebody comes in for his position. What advice would you give Timmy McClain if he said, "Hey, what should I do now, Jason?"
Tell him just keep working. You know, Timmy really confident in himself. I learned that like in the summer. He really confident in himself. So he just keep doing what you're doing and keep trying to improve and get better. So you can get the job.
All right. When you're on an airplane, window seat or aisle seat?
I want the window seat.
Wow. Okay. Big guy like you. You're what, 6'2", right? If I have this right, you're 6'2". You want do you want that for a sleeping situation? Do you want to be able to lean? What's the strategy on the window seat?
I feel like it's kind of like, the little under the chair. I feel like it's a little bit more space right there. So
Okay.
for my legs, I feel like there's more space.
And when you guys travel on the road, you often you have a roommate sometimes, yes?
Yeah, I do.
Who's one guy that if you got to the room and you walk in the door and this guy is sitting in the bed next to you, that you would say, absolutely not, I'm leaving this room? Who's one guy you would not want as your roommate on the road?
Um, Probably no drop cool, but they'll probably drop because drop crazy. He be drop crazy, man. He funny though, but he crazy.
Who was your roommate on the road?
It was a walk.
Okay. Do they ever mix offense and defense? Like if you walked in the room and there was Paul Rubel, would like that have been cool with you?
No, he too big, and I don't want to be room with no lineman or defensive lineman or anything. I don't like the big guy. They too big.
he certainly is big.
Yeah.
Are there any pranks going on like on these road trips? You guys messing around, any horsing around, or is kind of just all business when you're on these trips?
I ain't gonna say pranks, but it's definitely some playing around in the hallways in the rooms. So it's some of that going on.
The coaches ever come out and like kind of hey, get back in the room, kind of get you guys in check, or is kind of they let you go until a certain time?
The coach never really came out. It just we just gotta we know when to like stop and to go and then get rest and stuff like that. So yeah.
Jason, tell us about some of these young linebackers. We didn't get a chance to see a bunch of them this year, but Andrew Harris, Troy Ford, Cam Moore. Tell us about some of these young linebackers and kind of what you think about their progression as you've watched them kind of day in and day out.
I'll say Cam Moore. He like really smart. Like he know the whole defense inside and out. He know everybody jobs. He be telling the safeties what to do. He tell the other backers what to do. The D line. Like he just a good field general, and he's still working, putting on size, and he's getting better. And Andrew Harris, I feel like he still got to learn. He's still learning the defense because he just started playing football a few years ago, so he just getting used to playing linebacker and learning the scheme. But I think he's gonna be legit too, because he like physically he crazy. Like he's super strong, super fast. But he's gonna be a really good player. T.J. Bullard. He's like one of like the hardest workers on the team. He works super hard. He tries his best. So I think he got to put on some weight. He's gonna be a really good player too. Then we got Troy Ford. He's a good player. He's smart. He kind of like Cam too. He's smart and he got the physical strength and stuff like that. So he's gonna be really good too.
We also got a really young, talented secondary. Think about Nakai Martinez, Brayton Marshall, the Henderson twins. How excited are you hoping to watch this UCF secondary kind of blossom over the next couple of seasons?
I think they're gonna be really good. They had a really good the Henderson twins' second year. They
Yep.
was good in their first 2 years. Braden was really good his first year. So they only going to get better. So it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do.
Who do you think the one guy out of that group, any of the secondary guys, who's the one guy that you want to really watch? You think is going to be a star?
Who I think is going to be a star?
Yeah.
I think both of the twins are going to be very good. I think Braden, Braden too. I think all three of them are going to be very, very good.
Colton Boomer got a lot of praise, obviously, when we beat Boise for hitting he had a couple of 50-yarders that day, and at the end of the year struggled a little bit. I know that's got to be one of the hardest positions, especially mentally, to play. But you, being an athlete, how far of a field goal could you kick right now? If I sent you out there, game on the line, what are you comfortable kicking? Like a 30-yarder, 40? Could you hit from 45?
Me, I couldn't hit a 1-yard field goal. I suck at kicking, so I don't know how they do it. I'm terrible at kicking.
You couldn't punt either?
No, I'd probably go about 10 yards.
All right. The Big 12 did us no favors in cities that we went to visit. Obviously, there's a bunch of places. I would never go on vacation. I'd never go to Lubbock, Texas. I'd never go to Manhattan, Kansas, all that stuff. What's the city that you want to visit? Forget football, forget playing at. Just a city anywhere in the world or in the country that you're looking forward to going to one day.
I'll probably say it's somewhere in California. I've never been to California, so I just want to see like what it's about. I heard a lot about it. I feel like it's a good place, so I want to go to California.
Yeah, South, like L.A., San Diego, or because California is like two different states, I think, basically, right? Adam used to live out there. You got North California with San Francisco.
I live near San Francisco, Jason. It's cold up there, man. It's a whole different vibe than like LA and SoCal. So it's like country north and like beach, like Florida vibe in the south.
Yeah.
So you more a country guy or a beach guy?
You say I'm a country guy or a beach guy?
Yeah.
I like both, though. I like both.
Have you gone to the beach since living in Orlando? Cocoa Beach is only 40 minutes away. Do you ever go out there for a day and hang out with a girlfriend or anything?
I've been to the beach like 5 or 6 times since I got to UCF, so I've been a few times.
It's nice out there. Okay, nice. If you had to play another sport besides football, obviously you can't kick. So but I'm sure you have other skills. Could you play basketball? Could you play baseball? Did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah, I played basketball.
What was your position?
I played when I was in middle school. I was like a shooting guard. I could shoot really good when I was in middle school. But then once I got to high school, I started lifting weights, getting stronger, and I lost my jumper. But
can you dunk? You can dunk, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could dunk.
Easy.
I'm like a.
Can you
I
do
can dunk. I play defense. I get rebounds. I do stuff like that.
But can you do like any kind of between the legs, reverse, spinning dunks, all that stuff?
Yeah, I could do all that.
Okay. Are you friends? Are you guys close with the guys on the basketball team? Like, obviously, we had a huge win the other day against Kansas. Were you at the game, or are you talk to those guys? You know a lot of the guys on the team?
No, I don't know none of them. Haven't talked to any of them.
No. But were you at the game or no?
Nah, I was
hula ball.
Yeah, the hula ball. Yeah, I was at hula ball.
Well, no, Kansas was on Wednesday or whatever. Right?
Yeah, practice.
Now we had later in the day we was talking like scouts and stuff. Like we had interviews and stuff with scouts.
This guy's got a job interview, Mike. How did the hula ball go, Jason? How was that experience for you? I know you were the team MVP on defense. Is that right?
Yeah, I was.
What was the overall experience like? Talking to scouts, meeting some other players, kind of intermingling with a bunch of different NFL guys and other leagues. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was just nice learning from like some NFL coaches, former NFL coaches, competing against good players that they were trying to show what they can do. I was trying to show what I can do. And the scouts, just hearing from them and what they think on my game and what I can improve on. So it was just a nice experience that whole week.
Yeah, what kind of feedback did you have? What kind of did you get any positive feedback? Any things you need to work on?
They were most of them were saying like my speed and my effort. A few of them saying coverage, but they got I don't know if they watch certain games, but that was basically like the main thing that I can improve on. They were saying pass coverage, like zone drops and understanding like the route concepts.
I know John Rice was on your team for this game. Were you mad that he was on your team? Were you looking to get a hit on your former quarterback? So for the one time, Jason, where you actually could legit hit John Rice Plumlee would have been this game. Were you mad that he wasn't on your team? That he was on your team rather?
No, I ain't want to hit John Rice. We cool. I ain't want to do him like that. So I was kind of happy he was on my team.
All right, I need your help here then. All right, you can help me out. I asked Walt this last week. He had nothing for me. John Rice just seems too perfect. Like this guy does everything right. There's got to be something. Like, does he chew with his mouth open? Does he snore? Is he a bad parker? Yeah. Does he have sloppy handwriting? Can you tell me one thing that John Rice isn't good at or doesn't do well? There's got to be something, Jason.
I don't know.
It's unbelievable. Like, no one can find anything. This guy, there's got to be something. Is he late? Does he oversleep? Does he smell? Does he fart? Like, there's got to be something that he does.
I know it's something, but he haven't shown it. So I don't know.
He just hides it.
I could try to find it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an investigation on this because I feel like this, he can sing, he plays the piano. I assume he can. I've seen him dance in the locker room. He can dance, he can run, he can throw. Who is the fastest guy on the team? So I know in the spring game, everyone lined up. I think DeMarcus Bowman beat out Johnny Richardson. So right now today, if you lined up everybody on the team, 40-yard dash, who's got the fastest time on the team?
I'll say it's probably Bowman, but Brandon Adams, he pretty fast too. I think it's between them two.
How far off is John Rice from that top? Like, I know he seems like he's pretty freaking fast. Like, how far off is he from sort of the fastest guys on the team? Is he top 10?
Top 10?
No. All right. This is our he might speed.
He might be. I had to think of everybody, but he might be. He might not be.
He might be. He may not be. All right. What's next for you, Jason? Obviously, you're training for the draft now. What's that plan look like? Where are you going to be at? What's kind of your next couple of months look like as you get ready for the NFL draft?
I'm gonna start training with P. Bomberitos. It's gonna be either Miami or Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna train there for 8 weeks. Then the pro day, like as soon as the 8 weeks done, the pro day in Texas, then go there. Then test well. I got to test well. That's really what the teams want to see, my 40 times. So I got to run really well with that. So that's really the main thing I'm focusing on right now.
What's the goal? What do you need to run in the 40?
My goal, I'll say 4.4. I think I get down there. Go last January, we came in straight out winter break, like no training. It was the first day. I ran like a 4.59. But I feel like with the right training, the right technique, I'll get down to a 4.4.
All right, you're ordering
I'm down in Fort Lauderdale. If you need me to teach you how to run a little bit faster, I'm pretty fast myself.
Yeah, you don't need that, Jason. You're ordering a pizza, Jason. What are the pizza toppings? What are we getting on our pizza?
Probably some sausage. Yeah, really just sausage. I don't get too much on it. It's probably some sausage and might some cheesy bread on the side. Some cinnamon bread on the side, or cinnamon sticks, or cinnamon rolls, or something like that.
Are you a Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's? What's your go-to pizza spot?
Out of the cheap ones, I'll say Domino's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Walt said this was not true, but I'm going to go to the source, and you're going to tell me here. I had a theory all year long that you had a bet with your teammates that you could get off the press conference podium in like under 5 minutes. Is that true or false? Were you trying to get off quickly, or was that just kind of the way you answer the questions?
That's false. But it was kind of like I definitely wanted to get off it fast because I was tired or something, or I was wanting a good move. I definitely just hurry up and answer it and try to leave. But yeah.
Okay. All right.
We got him here for an hour, so I mean that's pretty good.
I feel good about that. I feel good about it. Jason, what's one thing people, if you were talking to NFL scouts, if you're talking to NFL coaches, and they say, "Hey, tell me one thing about you, Jason, that we need to know before we bring you in your team." What's one thing you'd want coaches, scouts to know about you?
I feel like they could see it just the way I play. Like I never give up. I'm always going 100%, 110%. Like my motor. I just got a really high motor, and I'm just always going. Like I don't give up, and play to the end.
Last one. Sum up for me these last 2 years at UCF for you. What are these last few years meant for you? I know it's got to be scary, right? You're trying to find a new home. You end up here in Orlando, far away from Chicago. You end up down here. What have these last 2 years been like? What have they meant to you?
Oh, it's been really fun. You know, just the day I got here, it was just a whole new experience. Like the weather, just the team. It's been fun. Like just coming in and making an impact day one. I had a great year. I had a great 2 years here, so it's been a really good time here.
Right, I got to ask too. By the way, you got a pretty sweet Citronauts little half zip situation. How much gear do you get? Like, do you have like a closet full of UCF gear?
I got a pretty decent amount. I got a decent amount.
What do guys do like when they transfer from one school to the next? Like, do you keep all the other schools' gear? Do you get rid of that gear? Like, what do you do when you leave a school?
Now you definitely keep it all, but so I know some guy DM me. He was saying I'm ready to work. I'll buy any of your old gear. So I don't know what that's about. I ain't respond to him, but maybe I could sell something. I don't know.
Is that legal? I'm sure it's legal.
You prefer
now.
the Canaveral blue over the black and gold, or
you
just wearing it today just because you like the blue
this or
better?
like the uniforms or this?
Either one, yeah, the uniforms or that. You if you had a choice to go out, you're wearing that most of the time, or you're wearing the black stuff?
Yeah, I like this better.
So would you switch to Citronauts? Would you become the UCF or Citronauts versus Knights?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't a big fan of the name, the Citronauts, but I like the colors. I like the colors a lot.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Citronaut's not a real thing. It's orange and a space guy. It's not really a real thing, I don't think, as far as I can tell. All right, Jason, I appreciate you hopping on, man. You've been a good sport. You made a lot of fun, and obviously these 2 years you spent with UCF have been fantastic. I know all the fans enjoyed watching you play. You played your heart at every game. 2 years back to back, led us in tackles. So I know you're gonna have a lot of people rooting for you as you move to the next level. So we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon down the road. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, go Knights.
Charge on.